the scary part about the internet is that it influenced people reality too much, and people believe it over their reality. Like I know women who have whole brands of bashing men, and they are open like, nah, like that's the brand, that's what I do. You know, I'm for the girls, da da da. And I'd be like, okay, the shit that you saying about me, and do you date niggas like this? No. Was your father like this? Nah, my father's a solid nigga. Your brothers, your uncles, like, so you surrounded around solid niggas, but your whole brand is about niggas that you never experienced before. Just different. All right, man. Welcome back, man. 21 Questions, Terry Rosen podcast. We back finally. You know, it's been a minute. It's only been 7 days.
I was about to say, you do these pretty often. I don't think that's
only
accurate.
7 days. It's only 7 days. I got a guest today. It's a special guest. Y'all, we've been on the show what, like 4 or 5 times maybe?
I've lost count.
You've lost count. So is okay.
Look, are we including the shit that we recorded and not aired?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You frequent. You. Yeah, she a fan favorite. Yeah.
I'm a Terry favorite.
You feel like I personally just want you here. This is what you think.
I feel like you make your rounds. Like you may deal with other people for a minute, and then it's like
the block on
only
you?
So long before like you back on my line. Like so, yeah. I need you to come through.
As long as you fold every time, it's all good.
Look, cause I'm finna start telling your ass no.
Cheers to that. All right, man. It's Instagram's favorite therapist. The Hood Healer. Don't you go by the Hood Healer?
Hell no.
You don't go by that no more?
No, I never went by that. Where did you get that from? That is somebody completely different who I do not want to be associated with.
That's a person.
Yes.
I was just talking shit.
No.
That's a real person called the Hood Healer?
Yes.
Are they a therapist?
No.
It's just a nigga?
It's not woman? Even, it's a woman. Go do your research and we'll talk about it.
My bad. But Brittany, let them know who the fuck you are, where to find you, why you're here.
That's a lot. Hi, everyone. For those of you all who do not know, I'm Brittany, your favorite therapist. What else? What else should I tell them?
Where to find you at? What do you do?
What?
Where to find you at?
Okay, so my social media handles.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like it just be such.
You could drop your address if you want to.
No, thank you. At @bringitbrat_.
Yeah.
You in my bio or
why are you here?
I'm here to answer whatever questions you got for me, Terry.
Brittany's here because she's a therapist. She's an author. You know, she has a lot of valuable opinion on relationships, and she counsels and helps a lot of families and married couples through a lot of issues. So today, she here. Y'all know this is a relationship podcast. Y'all know what we do. But today, 21 questions. You can ask me anything you want to ask, anything you ever wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go first though. You ready?
Wait, you say I'm supposed to be asking you questions?
We're going to go back and forth. I got 10 questions for you. You didn't make the questions for me?
Terry, no. I didn't know that's how this worked.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you got to ask me 10 questions, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You didn't give no instructions.
I did, though.
You did not.
I did.
Even yesterday when you was like, we supposed to be doing it. You was like, are you ready? I said, you the one who's supposed to be asking me questions. Are you ready? That was your opportunity to say, like, you're supposed to come up with.
You gotta come up with 10 questions.
Y'all, we might be here a while.
Yeah. So do you want to take a break and you want to cut and do that?
No. Let's do this. With them
off the top of the head?
Yes.
All right, cool. They better be good, though.
Look, it's at this point, it's coming off the top of my head. So it's really whatever comes to mind. Okay. I really technically got out 2 of my questions before we started because I asked you why you don't have men on the show.
Well, that don't count. All right,
it does.
All right. My first question for you: what's the hardest thing about dating right now?
Oh God! Like what do I feel like I'm observing in general, or what is like my personal experience and what's hard for me?
Experience, yeah.
I feel like what's really hard for me is reciprocity.
Okay.
I think that like I have no issue showing interest when I'm interested, right? And it's like niggas be like, ew, she's interested, let me run. I spend a lot of my time like trying to figure out why shit doesn't make sense to me, like the shit that men do.
Yeah.
And I think it all just boils down to the fact that like I feel like I'm giving this energy, all these conversations that are happening, online and with other like people and men, like, yeah, we just want somebody to show that same interest. Women, they just use us, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I know I'm not ugly.
So you trying to think of like what the fuck
like
is
what is wrong? Like
right.
what is really going on?
How do you go about it? Because it's some women who show me interest and turn me off. It's just been on how they do it. It's like this is too much. Like, cause you got to keep the ball in your court. If you like me more than I like you, this shit is not gonna work.
And that's the game I don't have time to play.
It's life.
Like I don't like that game.
It's life
because I'm naturally a lover girl. So like I don't want to like if I have to do this dance. That's what I find exhausting. Actually, is like having to hold back.
Yeah. So it's like it's some games in life that you can opt out of, and there's some you can't. And that's one of them you can't. It's like racism. Like, you can't just wake up and be like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of that shit.
Right, but that's like... But
you don't get to choose.
Am I going to let you speak for all men, though?
You going to let me speak for all men?
That's the question. Because you're saying that for you.
No, I'm saying that for humans. It's just a natural thing. Like attraction. It's books about attraction.
I hear that.
Like, and just natural energy. Like, that's just a thing. Like, whoever cares less or shows less is going to have the power dynamic.
That's crazy to me because I've been in situations where it was... I felt like we were on the same page.
It get there at a certain point. It could get there for sure. It ain't gonna stay there for long.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Because even in a relationship, you can be in a relationship with somebody and you still playing that game. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's times that come that we're like, it's like we on the same page. But then sometimes where she pull away, you chase. He pull away, you chase. Like it just.
I don't believe that.
You don't?
I disagree.
Okay.
I mean, I think obviously in the beginning, but like that sounds exhausting. Like, are there going to be days? No. This is where y'all have shit fucked up at though. Okay. Like, we can have days where we don't care for each other, where we don't like each other, where we into it.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna equate that to I'm chasing or you're chasing.
Maybe chasing is a triggering word. Maybe that's not the right word I should use.
But I'm saying even the idea that like somebody has to be more invested than the other.
That's just life, though.
I don't believe that is the case.
So
for
you feel
all
like everybody is equally invested the whole time?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying foundationally, we both want to be here. There are things I love about you. There are things you love about me. But I don't think that I don't think you get to a certain point where it's about the chase anymore. Like I think we both proven that we're equally invested.
Okay, yeah, but I'm not saying chase to the point this person finna break up with you or you in fear of that. It's just like I ain't really feeling you right now. And then your girl kind of be on your heels when you ain't feeling her right now. And then it kind of swing the other way sometimes. Or she ain't really feeling you. Now you like, damn, babe, what's going on? You on her heels, you double texting and shit. Y'all in a relationship. It ain't like nobody cheating or nothing. That's just how that shit is.
Well, I think we're describing two different things with two different types of language. Like I hear what you're saying. And to me, that just is like couples being being into it.
But I feel like that dynamic is the same in dating. It might be a little bit more extreme, but it's girls who I date who like, it's like she kind of get on my nerves because she's like on my dick a little too hard. But then if I don't hear from her, it's like, bitch, where you been at?
like, see, and like what? Either you want me there or you don't.
I kind of do.
Like,
just don't be there too long.
That's too hard to read.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and then you know,
because you get to acting standoffish with me.
Yeah,
I think we're done. I think it's over. I think you hate me, and that's it.
You thought.
Well, no, I'm gone. Like once I done mentally been like, this nigga hates you, G. Like, what are you doing?
Telling you a nigga hates you is crazy. What's your question?
That's what it felt like.
What's your question?
Do you feel like what you just described as far as this whole cat and mouse game of she can't be on your dick too long, is this rooted in ego?
Is it rooted in ego? That's a good question. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I think that like both sides play it. I just think it's like polarizing energy. Like I think masculine and feminine energy are polarizing, and it's gonna be. But I think it's a good thing though, because sexual tension is kind of built from that. Like it's not like a negative thing to me.
But I mean, how do you read like potentially pushing somebody too far? Like I said, if you start giving me standoffish energy, and I'm not feeling that energy reciprocated, I'm going to take that as like you're not really, especially in the beginning. I'm going to take that as you're not really interested, so I'm going to fall back.
Yeah, and I think falling back and like, and I get it's just being exhausted and like, especially when you pass 30, you don't want to really play them type of games. But it's oftentimes a woman that say to me shit like, you know, I want to shoot my shot at guys. If I see somebody I want to approach a guy, but I don't want him. I don't want the dynamic to be like, I approach you, so now I have to prove something to you and I have to do X, Y, Z. And I think a lot of women don't really understand that, like, you could get a nigga attention and then shift the power dynamic is like back to you. You know what I'm saying?
So I can speak to that because I actually decided that I was no longer shooting my shot because 9 times out of 10, the power dynamic did not shift back to me.
Yeah, and it could be different things though. Like, you know, if a girl come get my number, it's like, okay, cool, she interested. We might go out, but if I don't, like, it just be like, it's usually the distance. Like, if I don't hear from you for a minute, it's like, damn, what the fuck? Like, I'm one like, damn, I thought this date was lit. Like, this bitch ain't called me. What the fuck? So now I'm wondering. Now I'm the one that's wondering. But if we used to go on this date and you just on my line every day, it's nothing to wonder. Like, you're not leaving anything to mystery. It's nothing. That's
crazy. I don't have to meet you in the middle because you meet me every time. I had a great time. I can't wait to do it again. Like, I'm trying to affirm that. Like,
I think men are hunters, right?
So what you're telling me to do is do nothing.
No, you just gotta be. This is what I like to do. This is like my thing that I do with women. Like, I'm 5 stars in person, right? So like, if that's what you're looking for, you gotta come see me. So I see you, overly compliment you, like take you out, do all this shit. Woo. If you call me, I'm probably gonna talk to you no more than 7 minutes on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want that attention, you gotta come see me. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what if
and they kind of keep the dynamic smooth because I'm rushing you off the phone and shit.
But what if she don't always want to initiate the come see?
She don't have to initiate it. I might initiate it, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you ain't getting that energy over the phone. You know, you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think you can balance that out. Like, I feel like I'm in this place now where I try to give motherfuckers grace before I just write them off. Like, okay, he not too chatty via text. Maybe the phone is his thing. He don't call that much. Like, maybe he prefer to text. Maybe he is an in-person guy. I'm not going to write it off until, like, I feel his energy in person. And then I can evaluate all forums of, like, connection at that point.
I just think it gives space because it's like, if I'm on you in person, right, I'm on you. And then I'm texting you all the time. And then I'm sitting on the phone for 30 minutes. Like, it don't leave you no space to desire more. So the balance for me is, like, I'm going to be on your ass when I see you. But I'm not going to text you. I'm going to tell you from day one, I hate texting. Don't text me. Like, unless it's like I'm outside. But I'm not going to have a conversation with you through a text message. I'm not. And then when we talk on the phone, it's going to be, oh, how you doing? Everything good? Ooh, your day was smooth. I'll holler at you later. Like, bitch, come see me. Fuck is you talking about? Like, that's it.
And I think that's okay as long as, like, you're initiating some of the come see me, right? Because I've definitely been in situations where it's like, you want to be pen pals, and I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, and are you giving these niggas coochie though?
Hell, Terry, that
might be the problem.
Well,
shout out to my niggas at Ice House.
Okay. Anyway, how was it the problem if we're talking about beginning stages? How you're not even doing shit to get to the coochie?
What do you gotta do to get to the coochie?
Have some form of consistency and effort.
I
take a bitch out, like hit a bitch up, like it's not hard.
It's not hard to get the coochie. Got it. It's not hard to get the coochie.
Let me tell it. You gotta ask these other niggas because we've talked about how long it's been since I've had sex. Right. So obviously, like,
I doubt that it's easy to get the coochie, but at the same time, you know, I mean, it just depends. I don't know. Some niggas, I don't know. I can't speak for the niggas that you date. I just know me. So, and you know, a couple other niggas. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's where I'm at right now. So I just ride the wave.
I got another question for you. Ready?
All right.
How big of a role? I think it's laughing. How big of a role does money play in dating for you in a relationship?
I'm not gonna say it's not important. Mm-hmm. I'm more so focused on like lifestyle compatibility. Mm-hmm. So I like to travel. Right. I can afford the things that I do.
What do you do?
Travel. The occasional, you know, Jordan purchase, mm-hmm. maybe a little shopping, my beauty maintenance. Like, mm-hmm. there are certain things that concerts, you know what I mean? Festivals, all these fun things, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there are things that I can afford to do in my lifestyle that I don't think are super extravagant, right? Mm-hmm. I can pay my bills, all that good stuff. So as long as like we're the same compatibility wise as far as lifestyles, you also can afford to travel. You have a passport. You like to go do different things. You can afford to do different things, right? Mm-hmm. You pay your bills. You know, all these things. And to be realistic, the way I think about it, like when we talk about this whole, you know, do you want a man that makes more, blah, blah, blah. I personally always say, like, that's what I would prefer, because in reality, men spend more money in a relationship. Mm-hmm. They pay for more of the dates. They pay for more of the things that you do. Like, that's just kind of how it works, you know? And that's not to say, like, I'm a trick. I like to spend money on my niggas. So, like, it's not that I'm not doing certain things or I'm not offering to pay. It's just that over the lifespan of the relationship, he's gonna spend more.
Right. So do he need to have enough money to do all the things to match all the things that you want to do?
Yes.
For himself, or do he need to make enough to do it for both of y'all? Because if you with a nigga and he got enough to do it for him, and you got enough to do it for you, it's not like y'all gonna be splitting the bill.
Right. No, he that's what I'm saying. He needs to have a little more.
He needs to have more to be able to do it for both of y'all.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. And if he didn't, so when I say how big of a role does it play, let's say he's lacking in that area, but he's affluent in every other area. Is it a non-negotiable, or like?
No, I think because that is where, like, potential and ambition and, like, being
love that shit.
Goal oriented comes in. But see, I'm not somebody who just says, like, oh, this nigga talk really good, he has potential. No, like, right. There are certain things that I feel like indicate in your life up until a certain point if you are able to actualize your goals. And so, people may think like, oh, a degree is arbitrary. A degree tells me that you went to school for 4 or maybe more years, you stayed committed to it, you made it happen. You know what I mean? So, like, you kind of have a track record. If you have bought property, it shows that you can commit to something, you can save, like all of these other attributes. Like, so you may not be sitting on the type of money that you want to have. Mm-hmm. Or that, like, that you can pay for us, like, a trip by yourself to Mexico or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. But maybe you can cover our flight.
Hey, I was talking to a chick and she was telling me, like, how she would be cool with, like, going on a trip with a nigga and, like, paying for, like, every time I've been on trips with a lot of different women, a lot of different places, and I pay for everything every time. Right? Because I thought that shit was the norm.
Yeah.
And, like, bitch, I would I would have bitches covering, like, no, like, I thought that just was, like, how that shit was supposed to go.
I think that shit comes down to how much a woman likes you. If you really enjoy a man's companionship,
yeah,
you'll pay some.
I mean, I've definitely been in a situation we at the party offered to pay for shit, whatever case may be. But I'm saying, like, even planning the trip, when it's like, oh, you want to go here, I'm just paying for the shit. Like, it's not like a conversational thing. It's more
that
like
sound like a you thing.
Right. I'm just saying I thought it was the norm. Like, when I talked to a girl and she was like, nah, like, most of the time, unless it's my birthday, we kind of splitting this shit. I'm like, damn, I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah. And
now that I know, like, these all smoke now.
I mean,
like,
it may not be it may not be a 50-50 thing, but right. I mean, I don't think, again,
what's fair to ask her to do? Cover what?
Well, I would say depending on, like, what's more expensive and where you, right. So sometimes your resort, your hotel, whatever may be more expensive than the flights. Yeah. Depending on where you're going, sometimes your flights may be more expensive than your hotel. So I think you should take the more expensive piece.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, y'all hold smoke. As long as y'all know.
That's crazy. I still think you preserve that sort of treatment for somebody like you're locked in with.
Big on the preserve. Okay. You got a question for me? No, they don't got one yet. Brittany is unprepared.
When is the last? Look, you didn't prepare me. Where's the last place you went for a vacation?
I did a little road trip.
Who'd you take? No, I'm just...
That's tough. I did a little road trip to. It was like to a tiny house. That was it. I think for Valentine's Day I went to Denver to the Ireland concert.
This past Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was Valentine's Day, and then I did a road trip like a month ago, maybe.
Okay, so you rocking with somebody.
Those two different people. Shorty from Valentine's Day, I haven't talked to her since we left the airport. Like, she blew me.
Ooh, oh, yeah, now I got a whole bunch of questions. Yeah. Can I get all my 10 questions out right now?
Go crazy.
Because I really want to know what happened. What did she do?
It's a long story. I don't like telling stories like this because it's like, it's so one-sided.
So did multiple things add up to you being blue, or was it like one thing that was just so atrocious where you was like, I'm never seeing her again?
It was kind of like an add up thing. So basically we was cool. We was talking for about like 4-5 months or some shit like that. Shit was cool or whatever. And we had an issue because she was supposed to, I was out one day. I didn't see her for like a week or something. And I was out one day. It was like 1 a.m. I called her. So she answered, she like, I'm smoking with my homie. I'm gonna pull up to your crib after. You know what I'm saying? So I stay up to like probably like 2, 3, some shit kind of way. She ain't call, text, none of that shit. Like none of that shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm the type of nigga, I give bitches a lot of leeway. I don't ask girls about other women. I don't ask bitches where they was, what they was doing. It's just like, if you wasn't gonna slide, you should have pulled up. I'm not gonna ask you why. You don't owe me no explanation, because even though I fuck with you, you're not my bitch at the end of the day. So it's like, whatever you want to do, that's you was wherever you was wanted to do, wherever you wanted to be doing whatever you wanted to do, and that's fine, right? So when I talked to, so the whole next day I didn't hear from her either. That was the crazy thing. So the whole next day I didn't hear from her. The third day she hit me at like 5 in the afternoon. So I'm like, hey G, look.
No, cause me, like, I be hot. I'm hot now. Like,
I'm like, hey, look,
you got a lot of fucking audacity.
This is not gonna work. Like you, like that shit is goofy. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, that's some shit that I'm just not dealing with. I'm down there not fucking with you type shit. Now mind you, we probably like 2 weeks away from the trip.
Yeah.
So she triggered. Oh well, you should have like, don't tell me you ain't. I don't know. She like she was like, you should have just called me, or you should have just did this, or you should have did that, you should have and I'm just like,
instead of taking accountability for the fact that like she moved wrong.
So we really didn't speak that much leading up to the trip. So I'm asking my homie, I'm like, man, bro, you think I should still go, or you feel like I should cancel this shit? She done already took her days off work. I'm more so kind of considering her a little bit too much. Like I should have really smoked it. I really should have went by myself type shit, and just like, I got a ticket to Ari Lennox concert for Valentine's Day, bitch. I'm finna find somebody in Denver and have a great time. You feel me? So that was what I'm thinking. But my homie like, I'll just invite somebody else, and I'm like, I'm not finna be calling bitches like, can you go to Denver in 2 weeks, and then they say no, and they see me in Denver with another bitch 2 weeks later.
That's
you know
blowing
what I'm
up the
so
spot.
I'm not finna do that either. So I'm just say, fuck it. I'm a select. So basically she ended up calling me over. She called me and she was like, hey, let's go to she was like, come to my people crib for Super Bowl Sunday type shit. So I bring my homie. My homie get into it. You know what I'm saying? Over some goofy shit. So her and the homie get into it because she was supposed to take a certain amount of shots for this bet she lost. And she ain't want to take all of them. Let's say she's supposed to take 5 shots. She was like, I got to work tomorrow. I'm only taking 2. I got to get up. I think we was going to the airport the next day. She's like, I got to get up in the morning. I'm only taking 2. So he on some like, oh, that's your, like, man, that's like bad character.
He wasn't letting up.
Yeah, but it's like what he said. He said something about her character or something. Yeah, but it was like, I know he just trying to get you to drink. He don't mean no harm type shit. But she don't know. This is her first time meeting this nigga. So she like, the fuck you mean? Like, ooh, so she is blue. But she trying to get me to like, what's up with this nigga?
Right, get your homie.
I'm like drunk, laugh, like, what the fuck is the problem? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know this nigga, so I know he just trying to get you. This shit seems so harmless to me, but at the same time, I'm still getting to know you and what offends you type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't really catch this shit. I ain't really get it. So the next day, I didn't even know it was an issue. The next day, she called me about it. She tell me, and in my mind, I'm like, bitch, you tweaking. But what I say out loud is like, moving forward, I hear you. I read the room better. I make sure when I bring people around you, and you know what I'm saying, just let me know what make you feel uncomfortable. So that was that. When we get there and the shit kind of come back up, I kind of use the shit as an example. I'm like, because we had some type of little issue out there, and it was the same thing. She told me I was tweaking. I'm like, G, when I tell you I got a problem with some shit, don't tell me I'm tweaking, G. Like, acknowledge what the fuck I'm saying. Like, I could have told you was tweaking when you said my homie was bugging up with you when he really was just trying to get you to drink. But I didn't tell you was tweaking. I really feel like you was tweaking, but I kind of considered what you was saying and didn't tell you was tweaking. And just like, hey, this is what I can do to make sure shit don't happen again. That's what I want to hear when I tell you I got a problem, bitch. Like, don't tell me I'm tweaking. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the shit just kind of went downhill from there. And it was like, this shit wasn't clicking, G. And I'm like, I can't, there's nothing I could do with this. So
do you feel like you noticed that behavior prior to the 2 weeks prior? Because you said at this point it had been 4 or 5 months.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you the red flags, right? We got a lot of questions to get to. I'm going to tell you the red flags. And hopefully this helped my niggas out here, right? I asked her a series of questions over different days that showed me the red flag. And I was just trying to figure out when it was going, if it came to my turn, if it was going to go that way. I just wish it wouldn't have happened a trip that I paid for type shit. You feel me? But we was on a date, first date. I was like, I asked her like, what's the worst thing about dating you? Or some shit like that. And she was like, I don't know. I got to think. I'm like, I ain't no pressure. You just think about it, whatever like that. She was like, I don't really think there's nothing wrong with dating me. Ooh, some shit like that. All right, cool. later on, I had asked her. She was talking about her exes and shit. She was talking about how niggas was cheating and niggas was doing this, da da da. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you feel like you could have done better to make your relationships work? And she's like, I don't think I could have done nothing better. I feel like I was perfect in my relationships. Like, okay, cool. Well, what do you think you could have just done to be a better girlfriend? Even if you ain't had nothing to do with the relationships ending, what do you feel like you could have just done to be a better girlfriend? She's like, I don't think I could have done nothing better. Like, that's a red flag. Okay, cool. Then she gets to talking about her getting into it with her friends. And in every situation with her friends, I was like, damn, well, you don't think you could have just talked it out with her? You don't think you could have, hell no. So I'm like, damn, every time you got a problem, it's everybody but you. Like, you don't got no accountability with nothing that go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if that's how you handle shit, when me and you have a problem, it's gonna be 100% on me, and you ain't got shit to, you can't do no wrong. And that's exactly what happened. When I had a problem with her, she was like, nigga, you tweaking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the writing was on the wall, and I knew what time it was before the shit happened. It just was like, I didn't want to say, because of how she answered these questions, I'm gonna cut this bitch off. And I think now, today, I probably would cut a bitch off. But I didn't want to just write her off like, all right. Because I feel like, at the time, I felt like, I don't want to just feel like I'm assuming that she gonna handle this situation like that because she did shit like that in the past. Yeah. But like, it definitely went 100% like that, though, for sure. Okay. For sure. All right. What's the next question? What's standing between where you are and where you want to be in life?
I'm gonna say some of it's fear.
Okay.
Fear of like risk taking.
Right.
And I'd probably say the other is consistency.
Yeah.
And that's just because like, obviously people are kind of doing an amazing job of like building brands on social media, and I kind of just do that shit when I feel like it.
I see that.
And sometimes that's okay with me, right? I feel like it's one of them things where if it was orchestrated for me, like, you know, or I think a part of it is also being incentivized. Like when Instagram was giving bonus reels, I was making reels because like, bitch, from me my $50 to $100. That's a little extra change like that I could make for doing this just to do it.
Right.
But then I get into periods of time where I'm kind of like, I'm just, especially right now, I think I'm kind of like bored with content. Like I enjoy speaking, doing podcasts. You cut the clips, you send them to me. Thank you. You have taken a load off of my chest because I really don't feel like doing this shit right now.
I think burnout is real.
Yeah.
I think instant gratification is like a motivator a lot of times. I think to give 100% to some shit and wake up the next day and be in the same spot is crazy.
Yeah.
And to do that shit for a year, 2 years is like a lot of people, it just ain't gone. Burnout is real. I get burnt out all the time.
No, I mean, and like when you think about just the different energy that's needed for all of these various platforms, like that part exhausts me. Like I have been on YouTube for 4 years, and I actually had a troll on Twitter. Like we was talking about something completely different, and they like went to my YouTube channel. It was like, bitch, you need to get your numbers up. Look at my numbers. Like you've been on YouTube for 4 years. Like get those 1,000 subscribers. And it's like, I don't really give a fuck, but it's also like I thought about the fact that I've been at that shit for 4 years, and like I get bored with it, you know.
Yeah, because YouTube is an interesting like platform because you can make good content, but it's like it's so much shit that's viral that's like don't even make sense.
It's terrible.
So it's a metric to YouTube that I just don't understand. I got a book about that shit in the corner over there. I just haven't read that.
Yeah, because I even know people who have had like moments of being viral on YouTube, got a whole bunch of subscribers, and their new shit doesn't really do any numbers. You know what I mean? So. I think what has helped the fact that they do like little reels on YouTube now. Usually if I post something that I've posted to all the other platforms, that'll give me news. That's cool. Like it adds to your views and your subscribers. So it helps you to kind of build, but it's also only a minute long, and it's, you know, your and other platforms. Another
place. You got TikTok reels. You got
that
Instagram.
Shit is
now you
like,
got YouTube.
I get it's over insane. It. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's too much.
I know that consistency is one of those things. And I think, you know, sometimes you get comfortable, right? Like, I feel like I've done enough where people know my content. They know who I am. They, you know, can go and they can view a whole bunch of shit, like, if they took the time and wanted to do that. But as far as, like, making new stuff, the fire don't be in my belly like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of creating content... Speaking of creating content, Terry Roseland's myself podcast is available. If you click the link in my bio on Instagram, or I might even put it in the show notes for this show. But if you click that link, it is a $20 podcast. It's on sale right now. Everything you need to know about podcasting. And podcasting is one of the best types of content to make because it can be repurposed for so many things. Like this interview we finna do right now is probably gonna be about 45 minutes to an hour. It's gonna be hella clips that we can use for TikTok, YouTube, all these things, but we also can put it on Apple, Spotify, all the different platforms, things like that. So podcasting is also a great way to promote a business if you have one. It's a great way to build a community around a topic or a problem that you might have, and all of those different things. You know, there's many different types of podcasts out there. If you want to learn more about podcasting, the equipment you need, how to market one, how to distribute your podcast and everything like that, all of the above, check out that podcast class. All right, you got a question for me? You ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Did you get more bitches with your hair or when you went back to the fade?
Both times I got the influx of bitches comes with the transition.
Oh, with the transition?
Yeah,
it's
so
the
when
newness
you cut
of
the
it?
hair, the bitches come, and then when you first get like some twist or some shit, when the shit get long enough to do something with it, then it's like, oh yeah, then bitches come. So it's just like the switch up is what get the bitches.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I was curious.
Yeah, but I think in life, I mean, I only had hair for 2 years or a year maybe, but in life, I think the haircut is the win for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, women, we always feel like you get different attention based on how your hair is. Like if you natural, if you got a silk press, if you got the sew-in or the wig, if you got braids, like for women to tell you it attracts the different types of niggas.
Would you give me the pussy faster with hair or with a haircut?
Terry, I begged you to cut your hair for a minute.
Okay. So it's open season right now. Is what you're saying? Gotcha.
My coochie is on lockdown.
Say it ain't hard. Let's see. All right. Next question. You ready?
Yeah.
Your husband is about to die. The only way you can save him is if you can make him come in under 2 minutes.
Oh God.
What's your go-to move? What are you gonna do?
I'm so rusty. I don't know.
I don't know.
You say I have to make him come in 2 minutes?
You gotta make him nut in 2 minutes. What you finna do?
I want to say head. But it might get a little rough. Because you racing against the clock. So then he fucking around and be like, ooh, like you doing too much. Okay. I could pick a sexual position.
You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever gonna make that nigga nut in 2 minutes.
This is such a ridiculous question. Why would you ask me this?
Real life scenarios. Just trying to be prepared.
Oh, this is terrible. I would probably go with doggy style.
Okay. So he got to do the work.
No, because you like that is work that women can do.
Okay.
That don't like it's energy, but it's not riding energy. Mm-hmm. Like you could throw your ass back. Like you could do the work. Like and if you're doing the work together, then like it could really happen.
So we going straight doggies and any tricks you got? What are you reaching back, grabbing balls? Like, what are you doing? Like
you want me to paint the picture? You're trying to get bitches to paint the picture.
I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Okay, cool. You got a question for me?
No, not yet.
I got you.
Okay.
Can you or any woman truly be happy if they were single for the rest of their life?
Yeah.
How?
Because I don't think that companionship or fulfillment necessarily comes from having one sole individual in your life for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Because there are people who identify as single that still date, that can still have a fuck buddy or whatever you want to call it. Right. So it's not necessarily that you can't create other moments of intimacy or companionship. And there are a lot of women doing it. My grandmother is one of them. And I don't think that my grandmother has had a less fulfilled life because she did not remarry.
Got you. So she was married once, so she kind of had it, experienced it.
I feel like temporarily.
I feel like when you get married once, then it can't be happy single for the rest of your life because you.
I mean, and there are a lot of there are a lot of like older women who will tell you that, like whose husbands have died or whatever the case may be, and they never remarry. Like meanwhile, I think when you look at the numbers, and I know people like, where is the research? I have heard that like men typically remarry more than women do.
Yeah. Okay.
And they remarry faster.
Niggas need that in-house pussy.
They need a lot of in-house.
Yeah. All right, another question, right? Most couples, we talking about research, right? Most couples don't save throughout their marriage. They don't save the same amount or more than they spent on their wedding. Do you feel like we're putting too much emphasis on weddings?
I'm gonna say, look, because do I have to answer that as a yes or no sort of thing? Like,
do your thing.
I feel like people have different values and different priorities, right? So one thing that's people talking a lot about right now are like these extravagant ass proms, and if it makes sense to like spend that type of money on that experience when there are so many more experiences to come in your life, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's easy to say like, no, you shouldn't like spend that money on a wedding. You should buy a house, or you should pay for an experience, go on a, month-long honeymoon, whatever the case may be. But for some people, that may be the only like real celebration that they have in their life, So to deprive or to judge, it's like, could people make better financial choices? Sure. But if they want to spend the rest of their life paying off debt or not being able to save that type of money again, then that's really like their personal choice. Like, I think it comes down to one of them things where, like, of course, as a collective, as a community, do we want to see couples and just Black people in general being better with money, like having better investments, getting to a different type of wealth? Absolutely. Right. But I also think that we started late, and there are going to be a population of Black folks that do it, and there are going to be some that don't, just because they don't share that value.
I don't like celebrating like the beginning of things. I feel like I don't want to celebrate at the start line. Like I didn't really go to I went to my college graduation, but I didn't want to go because I felt like, what am I celebrating? Like, I don't even have a job yet. I'm just in debt. Like, what are we celebrating? Like, I went because like they brought my son. They was like, you gotta go take the cap and gown picture with your son. And I stood in the hallway like the whole time till they called. Like today was finna call my name. I like ran into the graduation and then got my shit and came back out. But like, I don't really. So it's like a wedding. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but like going crazy. And it's like, let's celebrate 10 years. Let's go. Let's spend a lot of bread when we make 10 years, right. 20 years.
But you know what?
Like, what the fuck is we celebrating? We ain't did shit yet.
But I saw somebody on Twitter who was speaking about kind of like the delayed gratification, which I think is sort of in alignment with what you're describing, right? Like, I feel like I need to be somewhere, but life is short. So like people were speaking about how like they had made these plans, with their significant. I think one lady was like, me and my husband said that like we were gonna spend his 31st birthday chilling, in the house because I was pregnant, so we ordered pizza and that was that. Next year we would do it big, and he died, before they made it to that birthday. So I think some people operate with the mindset that we should celebrate every milestone. So like for you looking at like graduating college is like the beginning of the next chapter of your life, but like, what about the chapter you're leaving behind that you worked so hard to get to that milestone? You know what I mean? So I think your perspective just speaks to kind of maybe your outlook on life, where some people are like chasing the next thing, and some people are like, I have to be and bask in like where I am today, and I have to celebrate that because I don't know if the next thing is coming, but I know what's here right now.
For sure. I can see that. I just feel like I gotta celebrate. Like the delay is a thing, but it's also like I gotta be celebrating like the work that was done, not like the imagery of like, or the potential. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but when you graduate college, that is a celebration of the work you have done to get to that point.
There's a lot of motherfuckers who in debt, not using them degrees, fucked up. Like, so it's like I feel like the celebration should be like when I get that job.
Well, I mean,
that's just my opinion.
And even with that job, though, right? Like, people get into jobs and then they end up hating them. So then they understand that, like, you know, their fulfillment isn't necessarily like tied to what they thought it would be. I mean, think about it. They got 18, 19-year-olds making like big ass decisions of what they want to do with the rest of their life. And we being, you know, in our 30s understand how much transition you go through.
Maybe it just depends on what the goal is too, though. Because some people, like when they go to college, the goal is to graduate. So I guess that makes sense if you celebrate that. Like I more so went to college because I couldn't get promoted at the job I was at. Like I would have never went. Like if they would have promoted. So I'm like, okay. I'm looking at like I need this to get advance. This. So like this ain't the goal.
End of the line, right?
You know, so maybe it's just that part of it for me. Let's see. Do you believe that men hate women?
I believe that some men hate women.
How many?
That is a crazy question. I can't.
What's the percentage?
That. I don't
50-50? You think majority of niggas hate women? What do you think?
I don't know. I think.
Let's talk about black men.
I think online it's magnified. Okay. But based on like black men I actually know and in proximity and in real life, I don't think it's as big of a percentage, right? So like that is kind of the conflict as far as this whole how many black men hate, you know, women thing. Is like you go online where there are hundreds of thousands of millions of people spewing opinions, and so if that was your only gauge of judgment, you would think that majority of black men hate black women.
Right.
But when you look at and break down the numbers of like, there are 20 black men that I, you know, may associate with personally, whether they be in person or online or at work or in school or whatever. And most of those black men seem to do well by black women, then you have a majority on that end. So I don't think you can necessarily encompass that number, but
give me a fucking number, really.
No, I'm not doing that. I will say it's a lot of niggas online making y'all look real bad, and I want y'all to start checking that shit.
Yeah, checking a nigga online is crazy.
See? But I'm saying even at least be doing like, if we're gonna do content, like I would love to see more black men content about the fact that y'all do not agree with a lot of that bullshit.
Yeah, they called me Derek Jackson like 2 days ago when I did that.
Well, and that's the thing, right? But I also think that's important for black men to see is like, we're sensible individuals who can talk about what's right and what's wrong, regardless of like gender. Right. And you can do that as a man, and niggas will be like, no, nigga, you a simp.
For sure.
It's terrible.
And I think the thing is that like everybody look at it like it's teams, like it's the man team and the woman team.
Yeah,
so if you disagree with what the fuck niggas are saying, you're a traitor. Like you're a bitch. Like you just sold us out, nigga. Like I think that's the vibe.
I saw a video earlier of that man. What's the real popular one with the lock? Steven something.
Steven Speaks.
Yeah,
I like him.
And then there was another guy who I heard is like recently. I guess he's been known, but this is the first time I've seen him. He kind of wear like a little African.
19 Keys.
Yes. Yeah. And they were talking about like having a fine woman budget, like them knowing like when they didn't really have it, that they liked fine women and they wanted to be able to help maintain that. And Steven said something about, you know, a part of helping to maintain it is like you avoid the excuses of why it can't be done, you know?
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, they're going to hate this because this goes against everything that motherfuckers are saying about like, oh, I shouldn't have to fund a woman's lifestyle. She was maintaining herself before I came around. And it's like, these niggas, like, men be looking up to them. And that be the funny part. It's seeing like these popular niggas who go viral, who have like neutral opinions on different topics. Yeah. And it's like when they're on the mark with women, the niggas hate it. And I'm sure like when they on the mark with men, women are combative as well. So
yeah, and I experienced that as well a lot of times. Like if I hold women accountable, I'm a woman basher. If I hold men accountable, I'm a simp. Like it just go back and forth every day. It's just like, yeah, it is what it is.
And I think that's also like what exhausts me about content is like the wrong motherfuckers find your page and you're fighting for your life. I don't like that.
It's
Please
crazy.
stay away.
It's crazy. I'm gonna throw a number at that. I'm gonna say 5%.
You think it's only 5?
I think it's like 5%.
I'm gonna say at least 20 then.
Nah, and the reason I say that is like, how many black men is it in America? Like, what you think? Like
I have
7 million.
I'm so bad at numbers. I couldn't tell you.
Let's say it's 7 million black men in America, right? So 5% of 7 million is 350,000 men, right? It's a lot of fucking niggas, but it's a very small percentage of niggas though. At the same time, so what I think is, you have like certain pages are like the misogyny water
the cesspool
cooler.
For it, yeah,
exactly. So it's like when you go to Fresh and Fit podcast or Kevin Samuels or this
Mr.
or that,
Let Go.
you know what I'm saying? A lot of that
Shout
shit.
out to Let Go.
That nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? A lot when you go to those places and you look at them comments, it's 1,000 niggas. They all hate women. You feel me? Like, they really do.
Yeah.
But that's a very small percentage. It's just that in this location, it might be 100% of these niggas hate women.
Yeah.
But when you look at, you know, like you said, and I think that like the scary part about the internet is that it influences people reality too much, and people believe it over their reality. Like, I know women who have whole brands of bashing men, and they are open like, nah, we like, that's the brand, that's what I do. You know, I'm for the girls, da da da. And I'd be like, okay, the shit that you saying about me, and do you date niggas like this? No. Was your father like this? Nah, my father a solid nigga. Your brothers, your uncles, like, so you surrounded around solid niggas,
right?
But your whole brand is about niggas that you never experienced before.
Right. And I'm gonna say this because I feel like I said this on the last podcast, but who knows if that's gonna come out. Right. But that, like, my observation is that people are internalizing a lot of this toxic, dysfunctional, gender war content, and they're not operating like that in real life, or like the fact that they are internalizing that is creating like the opportunity for them to like project that shit out in real life. And like, you go around real people and they get to spewing that shit, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, do you really think like that? Like, and you can tell it's coming from a place of hurt, but also, like, again, this shit not even y'all hurt. Like, these niggas is talking about gold digger this, women use me that, but like, you make $50,000 a year, nobody is using you.
But this is the other thing too, though. It's like, on niggas' end, though, I don't want to just go in on niggas, but on niggas' end, I got a lot of guys, especially young guys, who be like, bro, I ain't never getting married, I ain't never doing this because bitches be cheating. Ooh, I'm like, no, bitch, I'm cheating on you. No,
and but, that shit,
it be
like again, that's the internalization of other people's relationship trauma. It's not even your shit. Like, now you got this bag, this book bag with all of this other shit in there that you've never experienced. Like,
a bitch being faithful ain't gonna go viral. Like,
look,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. When you talk about, again, like, and that's what also has disrupted, like, what's so fucked up about this content shit. You create healthy conversations, that shit does not go viral.
Yeah.
It's the toxic shit. And I think when I went to do tonight's conversations, I spoke about that on stage. I'm like, we need to do a better job of interacting and like integrating more positive Black love related content into our timelines.
It's a lot of positive shit that do go viral though. Like the Black, like you be seeing them Black love pages.
Yeah, no,
pages.
Absolutely.
That should be going viral. That should be dope. You know,
but
it
be like, that's the extent of it. I'm talking about like actual conversations. Like, no, niggas is like, and that's what's crazy is, again, people understand now what drives up views, and they know views potentially equals dollars, right? So like, people spew shit that like, is, you have to question, like, do you really believe this? Like, even with Let Go, before I met him, of course I had this narrative in my head about who he would be, right? But then I meet him, I talk to him, and I'm like, you're actually not that bad of an individual. You actually like want better for women, but like, you do it in a way that isn't conducive to like people women, Black women at that, like really hearing and taking in the message that you're trying to portray, because you're shaming them while doing it.
Yeah, because it goes viral, it gets the clicks, for sure. It gets the clicks. All right, what's the hardest problem you ever had to help somebody with in therapy?
It will probably be, I think, like divorce, like, and then also deciding if they were gonna get an abortion.
Deciding they're gonna get an abortion?
Yeah.
Okay. Why was it so difficult?
Because it went against their beliefs.
Were they Pakistani or something?
No, they just didn't.
Are they was niggas?
No, this was a woman.
No, I'm saying like they was niggas. They was Black.
Yes, they was Black.
Damn, that's crazy.
There are a lot of Black women that don't believe in abortion.
That's crazy. I hope they believe in anal.
All right.
Cause like We talked about that on the last joint because birth control, free birth control.
Okay.
You don't got to pull out. No pregnancy.
You're doing a lot.
If you're not believing in abortion, you don't want a kid and you fucking raw. That's crazy. Like 2 + 2 is 4.
It's a lot of crazy. Like, look.
Like, yeah, put it in your butt.
you've been there, so.
What?
You got kids.
I do got kids. I busted, but my first kid I was cool with. I said that on camera.
Look, I'm pretty sure your children weren't playing. So you know what that's like.
Yeah, the first one I was like, it wasn't. I can't say it was playing, but it was like super. Like, yeah, let's do this type shit. The second one's crazy.
Crazy. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so like crazy. Now you can sit here and be like,
it was a pre-cum baby though.
Okay.
He was though.
I just think it's crazy that we went from talking about something so serious to this, but okay.
Okay. All right. Next. Next question. Let's see. Shout out to him though. Happy birthday to him. His birthday just passed. Dope ass birthday party. Was
the
great.
little baby.
My little baby. Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, little baby.
Shout out to him. He be biting people and shit.
That's why we can't date because you started over, and I don't date men with kids under 5.
He'll be 5 in no time. Look, time flies. All right. If you was my therapist, what would you want me to work on? And you know me pretty well.
I know you in spurts.
Okay. I'm a streaky shooter.
What would I want you to work on? I think something that will always need to happen with you is balance. Achieving more balance, like not knowing when to like put limitations in place, and that you cannot do it all the time.
Right.
And even understanding, like I think we've talked about before, how that affects like your dating life. And thinking you can just be spontaneous all the time and just hit bitches up at the last minute to be like, hey, you want to go do such and such? And then be like, damn, that bitch got plans. Or like,
but it works for some women though.
I'm sure.
But so I feel like them just my type. Them just who I need to deal with.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
You gotta find what works for you.
Yeah, I like spontaneous women. All right. Let's see. What's the best part about being an author?
I think it's like knowing that I contributed something to this world. Like I really feel like my book is the like gift to the culture. Like when I'm gone, that shit'll still be around. So I think that shit is like really cool. To know that like something that I put a lot of work and effort into will exist for a while. And like with books, just like, you know, obviously content, but like it can be shared, you know. And I think we are so used to sharing content. Like I think when you share a book with somebody, it was really impactful to you.
Gotcha.
Because typically we only recommend literature that we really connected with.
Yeah, for sure. Can I read the audiobook?
If we can figure that out, maybe that'll be your job. If all these podcasts I done did, do me a favor and like help me figure that out.
I want to be the voice on the audiobook.
I think it would have to be a Black woman.
Why?
Because in parts of the book I speak as myself.
Oh damn. All right. That's all the questions I got. You got anything else for me?
Oh, okay. Because you didn't ask about something you said you was gonna ask about, so I'm actually okay with that.
What I said I was gonna ask about? The what? The pregnancy?
No. What?
You was pregnant?
Hell no. What the fuck? Cut that out. Where the fuck did that come from?
That's how the highlight go. Come on, you was pregnant.
No, like, why would you say that? That is terrible. He just threw that out there.
What you talking about though? What I was gonna ask you about? Your sex life?
No, my close friend's little situation.
Oh, Ginger Fingers? What happened with him?
Actually, it's pretty interesting what happened with him.
So Ginger Fingers is this old nigga that she dating. She posted. Oh yeah, she dating a dead nigga. She posted a little video of them toasting, and that nigga fingers look like ginger roots. So that's why I call him Ginger Fingers.
He's really sick. It was nothing wrong with that man's finger, but he actually can go to hell.
Damn.
This is a perfect example of like how my dating life just keeps hitting walls, and it don't be me. Like
you the common denominator though.
I don't know what the universe.
You need a dating coach.
Is doing. I don't.
You do. Me.
Please.
Can I be your manager?
Anyway, this really wasn't. So the backstory is like I have known him for about a year or two. We went to the same gym. He stopped going to that gym, but like periodically we would just run into each other. But had never like officially went out, blah, blah. So this time around we run into each other on Easter. I'm like, hey, he was looking good. I text him like, you still owe me a date. He was like, you right, I do. Let's set it up, blah, blah, blah. So we finally like go out.
Yeah.
As you know, the date was fine. It was great. He had his toes in my mouth at the end of the day.
Right.
And that was the first time I ever had my toes sucked. And I just want to say, I understand
why
the ladies love it so much. I was turned out. So things were fine. We were chatty or whatever. And then like, it was like 2 different days that he kind of like ghosted. And he is very much the like answer the phone, like FaceTime him. He don't care. He'll pick up type of like guy. So like not hearing from him all day or him not responding to a call, a text message was just not typical. Right. The first time he said somebody was in the hospital. Okay, cool. The second time, was there an explanation? Yes. So the second time I was just kind of really caught off guard because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I just was kind of ready to, I was getting, moving towards like wanting to date it anyway, just because like, whether it be like you busy or you got other shit going on, like it's been 3 weeks and we haven't gone out again. I'm getting antsy. I don't like this.
Y'all hadn't seen each other or y'all just hadn't gone out?
So he picked these shoes up for me, dropped them off. I don't know if that counts as seeing each other.
Okay.
So, like, had I seen him...
So, y'all dated, y'all went on a date, and then he dropped off shoes, and you hadn't seen him, and outside of that, you hadn't seen him in 3 weeks?
Yes, basically, about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks.
So, you curried him.
Going on 3 weeks. So, I was already getting irritated. I hadn't cut anything off, but, like, now you're going missing. Right. Now I'm really, like... And then, again, communication was just getting sketchy. I'm like, I don't like this. And for some reason, when he would go ghost on the phone, if I messaged him on Facebook... he would say something, and you could see when people read your messages on Facebook. So the time that I found out his uncle was in the hospital, it's because I hit him on Facebook and was like, is your phone broke? And he was like, I've been in the hospital all day, blah, blah. I explained it. Cool. So the second time around, when you ghost me again, I'm now, after I've called you, text you, I'm on Facebook like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And he like, I'm gonna call you and explain. Okay. Now again, nigga ain't hit my phone back, but
let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is this all happening? Like you just talked to this nigga yesterday, and now today's a new day, and you hadn't heard from him, and you going to the extent of reaching out to him on Facebook.
No, it was probably like 2 days.
So 2 days that went by, y'all hadn't talked.
Right, because after that first day, I'm like, after the first 24 hours went by, and then you know what really set me off? I seen his ass posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, old ass, what the fuck are you over there doing? Yeah. Where you done seen me hit your line.
Yeah.
And you ain't said shit. That is like, that is a trigger for me. I don't have many things that like flip my crazy switch, but ignoring me, that's a different level of like irritation for me. I can't do it. It disrupts my nervous system. So he tells me he's gonna call me and explain, right? Cool. So I get a text message that basically explains that this nigga has been in an on and off relationship with his child's mother.
From him?
What do you mean?
Is he the one who texted you?
Yes.
Okay.
And he thinks that I'm just so beautiful and intelligent, and he thought we were just gonna have fun and have a good time, but he like really liked me and he didn't want to bring me in any mess. Mm-hmm. And I'm instantly just blue because we have like done this little dance of like chatting and like all this other shit.
Nothing happened though. Like you didn't give him the coochie. Like
no, that's besides the point. Because at this point, you've had your toes in my mouth. I like you.
Wait, his toes in your mouth?
You did just say that, and I'm not editing that out. And I can't wait to. I cannot wait to use that.
My toes were in his mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that like you've been moving funny, and like I'm so understanding. You literally could have just said that from John. Like even on some like
he didn't say it, so he felt like he needed to.
He said I'm off right. No, he literally said I'm sorry for not telling you this sooner.
Right. He felt like he needed to tell you right now.
Okay, this bullshit. But yeah,
I'm just the type of nigga that like I'm not telling you something till it's something. So if it's like I don't know, then there's nothing to tell you. There's nothing to alert you about because I don't know. But then when I know, it's like, hey.
One thing I think I've learned as a woman sometimes is like when it takes a delayed or a weird situation for that sort of information to come to light.
Yeah.
I still feel like you're only telling me half of the story. And I still believe he was only telling me half of the story because...
He told you enough to end it. It's all he really owed you.
But it wasn't really on some ended shit. It was like, we're off right now. You're trying to do me a favor. But again, if I turn around, I'm like, well, y'all are off. So you've been honest.
Yeah.
So I don't see a reason why we still can't spend time with one another, right?
Yeah.
So if you was trying to dead me... That didn't dead me.
No, I get you. He kind of was on some toxic shit.
So like again,
shout out to Ginger Fingers.
If you saying that, why would you say that? Like,
I mean, he just sound like a conflicted man, and I've been there before.
Go
I hope he figure it
hell.
Out. Why I gotta go to hell? He was an honest nigga. A lot of niggas wouldn't have kept it honest. A lot of niggas would have got the coochie too. Yeah. A lot of niggas would have gave you the missionary toe sucking, got up out of there.
But again, really I still feel like it was a half truth. And my thing is like, just say the whole truth. Like, right. If you, because at this point I got questions like, it's giving you live with your bitch live with you. Like,
oh, you never been to his crib, none of that?
No, we didn't.
We all live with our bitch though.
So that's what's in the dating pool. You think you have a great connection, and then shit like that information falls out the sky.
I hate you, man. And dating is harder when you know exactly what you want, and then you actually looking for something. I think like when you know what you want, your dating pool shrinks by like 80%. And it's better because it's like I know what I'm looking for, so I could dead this shit early. But it's harder because it's like what you're looking for gonna be hard to find.
Mm-hmm. You know I actually like ironically went on a date with another older nigga shortly after that. Just out the blue. I was just kind of like interested to see what like that was gonna be. He was actually older. And I knew right away like, I don't want to do this no more.
I hit a young chick. She was like 24. That's probably young as I could go though. And she's a teacher though, but her top was crazy. And I'm like, damn. I used to always wonder was my teachers freaks when I was a kid. Now
you're sick.
Like for real, that shit was crazy. Yep. But that's all I got for you. You can wrap it up. Let them know where to find you one more time.
Again, y'all can follow me at BringItBrad _ on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We talked a little bit about my book. It's called The Things I Wish I Knew, A Millennial's Guide to Learning the Mental and Emotional Concepts that the school system and our parents didn't teach us. You can find it on my website, www.bethechangeTS.org. Connect with me.
For sure. You know, Terry Roseland at Terry Roseland on all the platforms, terryroseland.com. We got merch, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got all type of shit. We got a podcast. You could book the studio if you want to start a podcast. And also, what else do we got? Do we sell anything else? Oh, Battle with the Sexes. That's automatically kind of rolled into the show anyway. But Battle with the Sexes, June 18th. Make sure y'all put up to that shit. Come out to that at City Winery. That's going to be dope as fuck. And, BLK, the dating app. Make sure you download BLK, the dating app. Brittany, you might want to download that. You know, you feel me? It's a lot of...
I feel like I already heard not so good things about it. Sorry if you're getting paid to add that.
Okay.